Hello everyone. Today we will have two interesting stories. Before we get to that, I want to ask you to subscribe, like, and be sure to write comments in order to participate in the development of the community. Write how to improve my community, current topics and the stories you are interested in, and much more. I read and listen to all the comments. People write me stories by mail from different countries. There are problems with translation. I apologize for this. I will work on it and try to fix these errors. I want to thank everyone for their support and the people who wrote to me by mail, broadcast news stories. New videos on my channel are published every 2 days at 7 p.m. Don't forget to put a bell in order not to miss new videos. And now let's go. Hello, I want to tell you my story. This story is about how I found out that my wife cheated on me while on vacation. She thought I wouldn't find out anything and thought she could trick me, but you would have seen my wife's face when she realized that I knew about another man. Now I'm going to tell you how it all happened. My wife flew to the ocean for a vacation. Unfortunately, I couldn't fly with her. I wasn't supposed to have a vacation at my job anytime soon. That's why we agreed with her that she would go alone. I thought there was nothing supernatural here because I trusted my wife, but that was my mistake, which I later realized. As a result, my wife went alone to the ocean for 2 weeks. She and I called each other 3 times a day. She said she enjoyed her vacation but missed me. I missed her a lot too. The days dragged on for a very long time. My wife has been on vacation for almost 10 days now. She often posted new photos on social media. And when she posted a new batch of photos, I found out something interesting. In one photo where she was in a swimsuit on the beach, I saw one man leave a comment with a heart. At first I thought there was nothing wrong with it, it was just some man. But interest got the better of me and I went to his page on social networks and all the secrets were revealed. Many photos were posted on his page. There's nothing wrong here, but only in these photos he was with my wife. In the photo, they spent time together hugging, kissing. Their faces were very happy and I couldn't believe my eyes. I was flipping through these photos and realized that my wife had found someone to spend her vacation with since her husband couldn't go with her. It's hard for me to describe the feeling I felt at that moment. Initially, there was denial. I did not believe that this could happen to me. My wife is faithful to me and we have a good family relationship. We have been married for many years in love and joy. It seemed to me that this was a photo montage, but it wasn't a montage. I saw everything clearly with my own eyes. Then, after the denial, the realization of the truth appeared. My wife had found another man, and now I was definitely aware of it. After that, I wrote to my wife and asked how she was doing. I didn't tell her that I knew everything. I was wondering if she will hide it from me. I already knew then what would happen. She replied that she spends her days all alone and misses her beloved husband. It was a lie that I can't forgive. I decided that when she returns, we will divorce her. I couldn't forgive her for that, and I knew it was over, but I wanted to beautifully, and I have to admit I did it. On the day of my wife's arrival, I packed all her things in suitcases and bags and went to the airport. I hired a driver who was supposed to meet my wife and give her things. I wanted to look at her face when she realized that I knew everything. As a result, we arrived at the airport. The driver was standing in the waiting room and holding a sign with my wife's name on it. I stood aside and looked at it all. I attached a sign to her suitcases that read, "Welcome home, dear. I know how you rested and I know about the other man. It's over with you and me." Half an hour later, I saw her enter the waiting room. She looked around to find me but found a man with a sign. She walked over to him and looked at the mountain of bags. Then, she took the note and read it. Then her look changed. She took her head in her trembling hands, took out her phone and called me. "Hello, what does it all mean?" she asked. I calmly replied that I knew everything. She immediately began to justify herself and say that she could explain everything. But I calmly replied, "It's not worth explaining everything because we're breaking up." Then she shouted that she loved me. But I told her that she had already shown how much she loves and I don't need that kind of love, after which I hung up the phone. A couple of months later, we were already divorced. I will not say that it was easy for me to break up, but time heals and I hoped that my life would go well. That's how it happened. At the moment, my life has improved and I have found a new girlfriend. I want to support men who have found themselves in a similar situation with my story. Just understand that time heals and start moving forward. That's the end of the story. But we're moving on to the second short story. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Similar trouble happened to me. The other day, I found out about my wife's infidelity. We have been married for 10 years. My wife is 30 years old and I'm 38 years old. We have a son who is 9 years old. Our financial situation is average. We have everything we need for life. I am an exemplary family man. I have never cheated or even thought about it. I was happy with my marriage and loved my wife. Of course, there are a lot of everyday issues between us, but it seemed to me that we were coping with these problems. At least there were no big scandals between us. In general, it seemed to me that everything was like all people. We loved each other, quarreled, reconciled, but always communicated. Recently, everything has started to collapse, but like an idiot, I didn't notice anything. I tried to talk to my wife, but she avoided dialogue with me. In general, for the last 6 months, we have hardly communicated in a human way. She stopped cleaning and cooking. Naturally, I had to clean and cook every day after work until 10 p.m. I sat with my child. My child played sports and practiced every day. At the stage of preparation for the competition, 2 training sessions per day. Therefore, I was always waiting for my child in the gym before the end of training. In the end, all the secrets were revealed when our child went to a sports camp. I've appeared a lot of free time to think about the family situation. I started looking on the internet and the search gave me 5 factors of adultery and so on. In general, one day I couldn't stand it and took my wife's mobile phone and saw correspondence with her lover there. Initially, I couldn't believe this was happening to me. I demanded an explanation from my wife, but she naturally denied everything. She swore it wasn't serious. It was just a virtual flirtation. After that, I called her lover and made an appointment. After our meeting, it turned out that my wife had been having an affair with him for a long time. They had sex for 6 months at every opportunity. Her lover found out about my existence just a month ago. My wife had to tell her lover about me because her lover wanted to meet her parents and her son. He wanted to move in with her and live happily ever after. By the way, she told him about the baby right away. When she told him about me, she said that we were no longer a family. What we have in common is only the stamp in the passport. We no longer have love, and we live with it as neighbors. This revelation was a shock to me. I asked this guy did we take turns having sex with her? Because I had sex with my wife until the last moment. By the way, I was able to take her phone only when, after rough sex, she went to the shower to rinse off, because she never let go of the phone for a minute. In general, I filed for divorce and they sent me a letter that gives me time to think. A week has passed and I'm still trying to get over it. Very hard for me. I have constant emotional swings. Do you know what the joke is? The fact that we still live together. She can't go anywhere yet because she has a weak financial situation. She says she is looking for a rented apartment, but there are no suitable options yet. My son returned from a sports camp and my life began to return to the old one. In the morning to work. Then immediately to training with my son and so on in a circle every day. I don't want to move out to a rented apartment myself. I'm not noble enough to leave everything to my wife. I'm not telling this story to vent my soul. I want you not to repeat my mistakes and be vigilant and attentive. Girls are very insidious creatures. If you like the stories, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so as not to miss new videos. Now let's move on to the opinion of the author of the channel. The opinion of the author of the channel. By tradition, I want to wish strength and patience to our heroes. In both cases, the men could not believe what had happened. This proves that girls are treacherous creatures, that even after living together for 15 years, she will be able to betray. I'm glad that our heroes have drawn conclusions and started a new life. I hope people who find themselves in similar situations will look and not make similar mistakes. You must be careful and carefully approach the choice of a girl or a wife. If you have watched to the end, I want to say thank you very much. I love you all. Thank you for joining me on this exciting journey of love, betrayal, and redemption. I appreciate your support and encourage you to subscribe, like, and share this story. Your participation and feedback are invaluable for shaping our content and promoting mutual understanding and community growth. Until we meet again.